things in advance. Is that the case?
That is the case, because we live in linear time, and the other realms, not just Satan's, but also the Lord's, they don't live in linear time. And so when they say soon, that's why you just want to beat your head up against the wall.
Right.
How soon is soon? Is that today or 10, 20 years from now?
Right. So I suppose that could answer a lot of people's questions then as to why he is so short of time for the Great Tribulation period, because he's so interested in the earth.
Well, another thing that's really going to befall him is that when he does have time on earth, he's going to be under a limitation of being in our time. He's going to have 3.5 years. Living under time isn't something he's used to. He's used to just being able to sit back and plan. He's been planning for thousands of years exactly how he's going to rule the world at the end of the days. And we've taken a lot of that out of his hands, a lot of it out of his control, and it's not going to be the way he expects it. And so he knows he's warring against the Lord's people at the same time. And he thinks by the persecution of the saints, by coming up against them, that he'll just get rid of his problems. But it's going to be a lot different than he thought it's going to be.
It's just occurred to me then that one of the best things that anybody who is anti-Satan on this planet, that one of the best things they can do then is to try and mess up his schedule.
Yes. And we've been doing that for a couple of years now. We've been working very hard at that. You know, the Lord's people are warriors, the ones he has sent down, the ones he is standing up. We know we have a job to do, a mission to do, and that's what we're busy doing. And at the same time, we have multiple tasks. It's waking up the sleeping, you know, because most of churchdom is asleep. And it's waking them up, making them realize they're sitting in errors, to get back into the truth of the Lord. And most of them have fallen asleep with the gospel of grace and Paulianity and have no idea who the real Lord is.
Right. Well, if I can just jump back to the 144,000 for a second, is it a safe assumption that the Creator has had to send more than 144,000 angels here, just in case some do not awaken?
He doesn't even need that many. He could do it with one. He doesn't need that many.
But I suppose,
you know, he always told me he could accomplish his person on earth just through one faithful person who loves him.
That's fantastic.
And so he doesn't even need, it's like, actually there are two groups of 144,000. I always refer to the first one because they're so much different than the second one. But, you know, he's got two groups, that's 288,000. And yeah, considering there's like 6-7 billion in the world, it's a very small minority. And people to realize a lot of these people, Hillary Clinton, and all of these top Satanists, they time travel. And so they know who's gonna be doing what in the future. I was kind of answering the question you asked me a little bit earlier about how they know. They can time travel. They do it all the time.
Right. Is that through alien or angelic knowledge?
Oh, there's nothing spiritual. That's a forbidden knowledge. The Lord doesn't allow that kind of knowledge. That's why it's you know, amongst Satan's realm. It's part of the things he does.
I suppose prophetically speaking, that actually is an end-time prophecy coming true in itself, because it talks about the secrets of God and how people aren't supposed to go there. And it talks about when mankind starts dabbling in the secrets of God, that's when you'll know the end is near.
Right, you know, he took John, but it was a very, very specific purpose. He took him and showed him the future. And that's why we have the book of Revelation, or that's why you have Daniel and some of the prophets. That's why the prophets, because he worked with them, showed them the future, so they could write it down, so we could learn and inform others. But it's a very specific calling in him. It's not a practice, it's a calling. When you look at the satanic realm, it's a practice, and they open these gateways, like Montauk on Long Island in New York, literally trying to force gateways into the solar system to where they can time travel, and you have these time travel chairs, and this stuff is real. I mean, I know television makes light of it, but the only way they can get information out to the public is through fiction format, and so that's how they do it, which is science fiction. Stargate, stuff like that, and some of it's true, most of it's, you know, entertainment. You just have to, you know, watch it with some curiosity and wonder what it is they're trying to reveal to you.
One of my hot spots is, or hot areas of study, I suppose, is watching movies and TV series and discovering the connection between their New World Order propaganda and how they're just trying to introduce things to the psyche of the world's population.
Yeah, well, how many people ever realized that Star Trek wasn't really that fiction? Who was the guy? Captain Kirk. He's on Boston Legal now. James, what is his name? I guess you probably wouldn't know.
The actor. Yeah, William Shatner.
William Shatner, yeah. He actually had a UFO experience in a desert, and then he started doing that series as the captain on Star Trek. And a lot of that technology that they show in Star Trek is stuff they had available at that time.
Right.
The public just thought, oh, that's future, that's fiction, blah, blah, blah. They've had that technology for years now. Years.
It makes a lot of sense.
And we're just seeing it now with laser technology and taser beams and stuff like this. They've had that technology for 40 years now.
Yeah. I have a theory about the TV series Heroes, and it seems to me that that is just New World Order propaganda for the Indigo and Star Children, alien hybrids.
That's another one coming up, because they want to combat the Lord's 144,000 and his warriors, so they have their own kind of children being born, these hybrids that are half human, half alien hybrids, with special powers and supernatural powers. And you know, when Maitreya arrives and this Jesus, this Sananda that comes playing Son of God, they're going to have all kinds of supernatural powers. And the Bible forewarns it, and even though the Bible already forewarns us and tells us exactly what they're going to do, people are still going to fall for them.
Yeah, well, that's one thing we're trying to get to the bottom of at the edge, is the purpose. I mean, do you think, I mean, we've heard rumours that the Indigos are the bad ones and the Star Children are the good ones, but it seems
they're all aliens, they're all aliens,
exactly.
They're all hybrids.
Yeah, exactly. So does that mean that they're all working covertly against the human population?
Well, yeah, because it's always this whole Illuminati game plan. Okay, these are the bad guys and these are the good guys. Really? They're both bad. They want you to think one's good, one's bad. They never give you the option of just casting them both aside and saying it's all evil.
Every time you hear one of them speak, they always seem to come across from the angle of the knowledge of the ascended masters kind of people.
Yes,
Yeah.
They don't acknowledge the Most High. You know, they're acknowledging Satan's realm. They're Satan's children. If they're clones, which he's got a whole army of clones coming, they don't even have spirits. Clones don't have spirits. They're soulless beings. And so you've got a fine line between a hybrid, which is half alien, half human, and clones that don't even have souls to begin with. Now these hybrid children can come to the Lord if they so choose. They're not damned from the time they're born. But the problem is most of them just don't anyway. They stick to where they're comfortable with, I guess you could say, and they just embrace Satan's kingdom.
Now, I've heard you talk about soul scalping. Is it possible that the child early on, I mean, a lot of these abductions of females are pregnant when they're abducted. Do you think it's possible that the child is soul scalped and then another spirit or a demonic spirit put in that child's body to grow up?
Yeah, it's definitely possible. Definitely. Like somebody was meant to be born, and then people ask me the next step be, where'd that person go?
You hear so many stories about changes in personality, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah, I do believe that's possible, that they do that. A certain person, a mother's baby is replaced by an evil being, and she gives birth to this monster. Not literally, you know.
Well, talk about...
It looks human, but it's a monster. It's a soulless thing, and it's like, how did I give birth to that thing?
Well, talking about that, I mean, there has been lizard hybrids